shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello? How is everyone today? Am I too loud? Am I too quiet? That's all great questions. Nope, perfect. Y'all don't need to listen to me anyway. It's fine, it's fine. Let's actually, oh, JK, I have that properly set. Sweet. All right, I'm weirdly nervous for this stream. Is that weird? Is it weird? Hello, Mr. Krabs, we can hear you. Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? Dudes. Bruh, I just smacked my phone. It's fine. Like, all day today, I could not wake up. Even now, I'm like, I could sleep. I could definitely sleep. Sorry, I got my blankie now. I'm all cozy. So, I've been like yawning all day. So if I if I start yawning, I'm so sorry. How has y'all's day been? It's been good. I hate the delay on the chat. I hate it so much. What? I didn't realize I still had wait, I'm in the wrong thing. That's why. Dun, da, da, da. Okay, I was in the wrong screen. Lol. Hello, Naomi. Hello. How are you? Someone just made my day like an hour ago. Oh yay! That's always great. That's always the best feeling when people just make your day. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. Oh, hi. Oh my gosh, I'm out of it. So, I'm nervous yet excited about this stream today, alright? I haven't heard about this conspiracy theory until yesterday, and I immediately was like, that's what we're going to talk about on stream yesterday. We're going to do a deep dive and learn about this ridiculous conspiracy theory, and we're gonna not bark at everything. Apologies. That was the Amazon driver just pounding his way through the street. So, learned about this yesterday. I actually heard about it on a podcast. It's called Scared to Death. They tell scary stories every week, and it's a fantastic podcast. But they just kind of briefly mentioned that they were talking about birds, and then one of the hosts was like, you know, birds aren't real. And then they kind of briefly discussed this, and I was like, that's an actual theory. What is this? What is going on in my life right now? What is going on? And so I'm so pumped and stinking YouTube chat. How dare you? Oh, my bed. What? My babies are sharing the bed. It's so cute. They're your cutie pies. Anyway, so I know absolutely nothing about this. I know there's a TikTok account, and I think, and this, obviously I don't know, we're gonna learn today, but it's possible that this whole theory started because it was a joke. However, people somehow took that joke and made it real, and now people think birds aren't real. And I'm just based off this, I feel like you maybe heard about this years ago. I'm sure it's been so apparently this group of Birds Aren't Real was founded in 1976. So it's been around for a while. And I think a generalized summary of this theory is that all birds are government surveillance drones in disguise. So yeah, we're gonna learn about it. I know, that's all I know about this. So we're gonna learn. And I think we should start at the origin of this theory. And I went to, there's a birdsaren'treal.com, and they have a lovely history page for us. So we're gonna learn the history from their point of view first. And I do want to do a quick disclaimer. This is all in good fun. This is just my opinions. If you don't agree with my opinions, cool. If I don't agree with your opinions, it's cool. We're just here having a good time, and please don't go harass anyone if we come across any people we discuss, any social media accounts we discuss. Please don't go harass anyone. Please don't do that. That's not cool. I gotta turn this music off because it's a little distracting. All right, and we gotta focus, yeah? We have to focus for the birds. Okay. Let's go here. And this is the... I'm so stupid. I was like, what? Why do I hear something? I think I have it. I don't have my thing muted. Silly me. That's myself echoing. Okay. We're back. Now it doesn't sound weird. No Raz, only Riz. Exactly. All right. So we have... I think... Okay, we're going to start with the history. No, that's not what I wanted. Go back. The history. Y'all ready? I'm not ready. Oh, warning, disturbing content. Hold on. Oh, no, fuck. Disturbing content. Please. Wait. Wait. The only way to properly explain is with words. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Just heads up for anyone. There's a warning of disturbing content. This is your warning. Okay. Chapter 1. Why? How long is this? Oh my gosh. When asked to write the unabridged history of this organization, I was taken aback. I knew that I had reached many thousands in my quest to spread the truth, but I was bewildered and frustrated with myself when I realized that I had not yet done an acute job of giving details: the why, the how, when, who, etc. I knew that I had to write something that was concise, accurate, and free of any fault or error. Great start to describing your theory. Yeah, this is my work. Okay. Yeah, okay. Making sure I wasn't cutting off anything. Prepare to take a journey into history that they will not, dare I say, never teach in school. Much of what you are about to read has been censored for almost 60 years. Who knows how long it will take our corrupt government to block this website? ? Only time will tell. In the meantime, I ask that you take 20 minutes out of your busy day and read all of this information. Soak it in. Revel in the fact that everything you know, squiggle line, is one big lie. Dun, dun, dun! So it begins. We're already off to a dramatic start to this. Shut up, Bionic. To be able to improve, you have to mess up, right? So I am going to embrace the tongue-tiedness today. It's going to be a lot of reading. Hopefully we get to some videos, because there's a whole ass TikTok account. I can't wait to go through those. Oh, that's Reddit. Shit. Here we are. No, wait. That's the New York Times article I pulled up. Okie doke. Let us begin. Oh, back to 1947. Okay. Oh, God. We're just going to go... We're just going to go a paragraph at a time. All right. Wait, my chat, you're blocking part of the paragraph. So am I. Where am I? Where? Here. I'll come over here, yeah? How about I be small? Small for the birds. Small for the birds. Hello, I'm so small. Okay. In 1947, the CIA was founded. Its sole responsibility to watch and survey tens of thousands of Americans suspected of doing communist things. Sorry, my heater went off. This orchestrated stalking epidemic went on for almost 5 years, and few were found guilty of any real crimes. However, it became clear in the 1950s that the threat of communism was only going to rise, and a broader system was needed to track any individual who was suspected of such activity. The fears were only encouraged when, in 1951, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were wrongly arrested and convicted of espionage against the United States, accused of spying on behalf of the Soviet Union, the big boy communist people. Tricky! Hi! Hello! This highly publicized event gave the government a small window to implement a new program that would place the first CCTV surveillance cameras in areas with a high Russian immigrant concentration. This is so good. I'm about to have to go close Helsing's door. I thought he was playing a different game, but I guess not. It's okay. No, I gotta do that. Hold the phone. Don't read ahead. How dare he? He was playing a single player game, yet still talking to his buddies. What is this? Who does this? He is so freaking loud. He says all the time that he's like, oh, I'm not loud. I'm like, yes, you are so loud. Okadoke. Hearing you read this while playing is an otherworldly experience. Oh, I can't wait to get deeper. This went on for a few years when, in 1953, Alan Dulles was made the first civilian director of the CIA and made it... Oh my gosh, cat, get off the keyboard. Okay, sorry. Did I fuck up anything is the question. Okay. Ramp up the surveillance program, hiding cameras in thousands of locations and ordering his staff to plant them in areas that would be impossible to detect. Although, let's face it, in 1950s, you could walk into a bank with a slingshot and steal thousands of dollars. Security was one big joke. Why does... This is supposed to be the historical recount of this whole ordeal, and they're putting silly jokes in here. I never said I'm loud. I only acknowledge it in words with headphones on. Ay. Helsing, don't interrupt me. How dare you? Anyway, he knew the possibilities for this camera program were endless, and on April 15th, 1956, met with President Dwight D. Eisenhower and proposed a plan that would put cameras... Wow, grammar mistake. Jeez. Put cameras in the sky. Dulles, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Dulles knew the sky was the future of his surveillance program, as you could truly track someone with a moving camera much easier than having to switch between cameras on street corners and hidden in storm drains. One camera in the sky could do the work of hundreds of blah, blah, blah. I can't read. Let's look up Alan Dulles real quick. I'm curious. I don't want to go too much into it. Hello. I want to just Wikipedia. Let's get just a basic idea of this man. The first civilian director of the CIA, director of Central Intelligence, the longest serving director to date. As head during the early Civil War, he oversaw Iranian coup d'etat, Guatemalan. This was one of the members of the Warren Commission, older brother, Secretary of State, CIA career. Okay. All right, back to. So, I mean, we didn't go into a deep dive of him, so we don't know if he actually said any of those words, right? Excuse me. Eisenhower approved the initial idea and asked him to return when he had figured out. Am I muted? No. Okay, good. Figured out how to make it possible. Dulles left the Oval Office while he was in the CIA, but okay. He left the Oval Office and immediately flew to an undisclosed location, meeting with various members in his inner circle to discuss the plan in more intricate detail. What was the plan? Of putting moving cameras. Okay. It is believed that the initial plan for killing all the birds and replacing them with flying cameras was thought up just one weekend in May of 1956. Okey-doke. Oh God. Dulles and his team hated birds with a passion and were heard on many occasions calling them flying slugs and the scum of the skies. Okay. They hated birds, okay. As they would often poop on their cars in the parking lot of the CIA headquarters and quite frankly all over the DC metro area. Guess what? They do that everywhere. It's not just okay in DC. I am confusion, but okay. I believe this was one of the driving forces that led Dulles to not only implement robots into the sky, but actually replace birds in the process. They did not need to kill all the birds and could have launched a quarter of the robot birds that they did, but the pigeons in DC at the time were absolutely ruthless. What the fuck is going on? Tricky, I hope you stick around because later I have a really fun my own thoughts for this theory. Okay. They were ruthless. They were eating very well. As American morale was high, people were feeding them much more in public parks on the street. This in turn created huge amounts of pigeon feces. Why is that word funny? That would inevitably, that's another word I can't say, find its way to the windshield of many men and women, all of whom grew to not only hate pigeons, but all birds. Okay? In a stolen transcript from an ex-CIA deputy, she says, yeah, the higher-ups were so annoyed that birds had been dropping fecal matter on their car windows that they vowed to wipe out every single flying feathered creature in North America. Tricky, you're in trouble. I'm so sorry. The CIA hates you. I'm so sorry. Oh, no. In this meeting, they sought to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and remove all birds from the United States, thus eliminating their fecal problem, and also replacing these birds with billions of sophisticated robot look-alikes capable of mimicking real birds in every way. Dulles and his team wanted to create the greatest surveillance system ever imagined, with the capability of tracking someone on foot, in a vehicle, or even in their personal home. I wish I could read chat, but my cat's in the way. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of hot. Eyes in the sky. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Sally. Imagine extinguishing a whole species because they shit. Exactly. How many chapters are in this? They said this should take 20 minutes to read. Okay, how? So this chapter was why. Okay, now, we get to learn how they do this. Okay. It is imperative that we discuss the methods that the government used to extinguish over 12 billion birds between 1959 and 1971. If we are to make disciples? Is that correct? Disciples? I can't read. I don't know words. Of birds aren't real. If we are to make disciples of the birds aren't real movement, we must equip, I'm just going to ignore that. We must equip each and every person with the knowledge of what truly happened in this saga of insanity and government corruption. Here are the facts and eyewitness accounts of various key events that occurred within our nation that completely destroyed every man, woman, there's no commas, man, woman, and child bird man, woman, and child bird in existence. Okie doke. I touched on him for a brief moment in the last chapter, but I wanted to dive into Alan Welsh Dulles, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency from 1953 to 1961. Upon the government writing the plan to slowly kill off the birds, it was his responsibility to make it a reality. He was given the task of relocating $65 billion of public health funds towards the forced extinction. On May 6, 1957, he met with an unidentified man from the Boeing Airplane Company and ordered 120 B-52 bombers. All right. Dulles knew that if his government was to go undetected, he had to keep these aircraft out of sight from the American public. He was under strict orders not to leave a trace of his actions, so he devised a plan to construct the aircraft in Nevada. Yeah, it's not Nevada. Goodness, brain. Area 51. This way, the citizens of Seattle, Washington, where Boeing was headquartered, wouldn't be able to claim that the bombers had been built nearby if the government was exposed. 23 men within the Boeing engineering department traveled to Area 51 and back in the back of an old school bus that they purchased from a salvage yard in Muckalito, Washington. They were seen by a few individuals bringing couches and rugs into the bus and were heard discussing, and I quote, really cool playlist for the road. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna ignore it. My brain was trying to do something with that and it's not working. Anyway. Clearly, the Boeing engineers didn't get the memo from Dulles about remaining undetected and actually painted Area 51 or bust on both sides of the bus. Whenever they would stop for gas and would set up makeshift campsite in the parking lot and sing songs with titles such as I Left My Honey for Area 51 and Let's Kill All the Birds. They attracted a lot of attention, and locals of a town in Idaho claimed that the men would reveal intimate details of what they were doing. It sounds like these men need to be fired, in my opinion. Clearly, they were complete idiots. Of course they were. But the idiocy, my brain ain't working, is one of the hardest pieces of evidence on how the government killed the birds. While 22 of the men made it to Nevada, one man did not. Neil Ford was the only engineer that lived to tell the story, as he was left in a Waffle House bathroom because the others claimed he had to pee too many times and was ruining the vibe of the road trip. It doesn't sound like this is the CIA going to do official shit at Area 51. This sounds like a bunch of college kids just being shitheads. Ooh, I'm having a good time. Neil, who was left in the bathroom with one of the founding members of the Birds Aren't Real movement shortly before his death in 1994, he spoke about the way in which Dulles searched for the engineers who didn't have families. Okay. That way they would be able to disappear from the map when the project was complete and no one would notice. This disturbing reality is a far cry from the way in which many people view the 1950s and proves that our government has been ruthless in its effort to rid our nation of its peace and prosperity. He's killing all the Birds road trip vibes. Upon making it to Area 51, the 22 remaining engineers were tasked with designing a new version of the B-52 and the B-52B. The B stands for bird or barrack, and it was to be a brand new model of the B-52 and had 450-gallon water tanks in place of the bomb. Okay, in the place of the bomb compartments. The water tanks were hard to design, and one of the engineers almost gave up. But Jules hit him over the head with a 40-pound. What? Rich, to try to knock some sense into him. Okay, question. Where is this writer getting these details? They knew they left this Ford dude. Was that his name, Ford? In the bathroom. And they know these super specific details. It's either, it's either exaggeration or he's making up the whole fucking shit. I'm sorry. This unintentionally put the man in a coma to which he never woke up. Scared out of their minds, the remaining 21 engineers vowed to finish designing the airplane so they could leave Area 51 for good. This was to be a faulty dream, however, as none of the men were ever seen again. So how do you know this happened? Anyway, I mean, I guess, whatever. We only know this information because 12 pallets of classified documents were stolen from a warehouse by one of our Birds Aren't Real patriots. But we'll get to that later. Oh, good. We get to know more about that later. That sounds like bullshit. You shouldn't make a whole... Anyway. Once the water tanks were fitted into each bomber, a complex system of radar and tracking technology was installed to the nose of the aircraft. This technology was extremely advanced for its time and was used by the crew to track large flocks of birds from distances of 200 miles away. Once the radar was fitted, 5 coats of jet black matte paint was sprayed onto every surface of the plane. This was done to camouflage the aircraft against the night sky so that it could go undetected from the ground. Not only was paint used to hide the bombers, but each external strobe beacon and landing light was removed. That sounds safe. Not a single light emitted from the plane, and the Pratt & Whitney JT3D engines were fitted with noise reduction pads that enabled the aircraft to fly completely silent from altitudes of 3,000 feet or higher. Interesting. It took 2 years to build the 120 bombers, and once they were finished, the Boeing engineers were told that they were free to go home. However, they were intercepted 30 minutes into the trip back. Oh my gosh, dog. Everything good? Everything good, my guy? Okay, bye. Let's see. Into the trip back to Washington, and were put in the back of an armored troop transport vehicle. The men were sent to the front line in Vietnam, which Dulles hoped would seal their fate. Each of the engineers actually survived for 3 weeks in intense combat, and were kidnapped by the Viet Cong only after they ran out of ammunition. The men were not heard from again. Yeah, I'm kind of confused about this whole plane thing. Okay, sure. Now you may be wondering, how were the birds actually killed? What method was used to accomplish this act of mass murder? Good question. The water tanks in the bombers were filled with specifically formulated bird poison that, once consumed, would give the bird a virus that could be passed on to other birds. The poison was sprayed from an altitude of 8,000 feet and would completely dissolve before it hit the ground. Okay, which meant that only birds would be affected by its terror. But what about tall buildings? Once a single drop of poison struck the bird's feathers, the virus would take hold of its fibers and make its way into the bloodstream. The virus would then affect the bone structure in such a way that total decomposition of the birds would total decomp within 24 hours. Okay. People throw rice at a wedding. When birds eat it, they explode. All right. On June 2nd, 1959, Operation Water the Country was born. This was the secret code name given to the program from 1959 to 1976, when it was renamed the Operation Very Large Bird. Ooh, so creative. The individual in charge of naming the program didn't want to get in any copyright trouble with the popular popular PBS show Sesame Street by naming the project Operation Big Bird. Within the next 6 years, 50% of the bird population was wiped out. During these first few years, bird prototypes were released by the hundred millions. The term drone was not used at the time, but instead they were referred to as robot birds. Yes, of course. Let it be known, the CIA were originally the ones responsible for this atrocity, and the sitting president, John F. Kennedy, at the time, had no idea that this was taking place. Sure. The CIA did not intend for anyone but select departments to find out what was going on. Even the pilots of the bombers were unaware that what they were doing. The chief commanding officer of Water the Country told them that they were watering the grass of the entire country. That checks out. To this people are stupid. Oh, we're just watering the grass. It's fine. To this day, it is highly unlikely that the pilots know that they assisted in the largest mass murder in world history. If any of the original bomber pilots of Operation Water the Country are reading this here, hear me closely. We do not blame you for the sins of your superiors. While you did kill billions of helpless birds, you did not know what you were doing. You do not have to remain in hiding. Join the movement, and together we can fight the government. Yes, please. Oh, I just realized I think my face is covered up. Hello? Not my face, but part of my self is covered. No, can't have that. Anyway. Oh my god. Yeah. As I said a few paragraphs ago, the president was that was literally the previous paragraph. My guy. Anyway, the president was unaware of what was going on until October 3rd, 1963, when a top CIA official was overheard speaking about the operation over a tapped phone. John F. Kennedy was the president at the time and had tapped the phone of Alvin B. Cleaver, an internal communications director for the CIA. Kennedy believed that Cleaver was stealing his ham sandwich from the White House kitchen and vowed to catch him speaking about it over the phone. Oh, I feel like if you steal the president's ham sandwich, you executed immediately. You're executed. Whether you actually did or not, you're executed. That's my goals. That's my rules if I'm ever president. Oh my fucking god. Oh. Instead, he heard a highly sensitive conversation that Cleaver was having with Duels. In it, Cleaver said, "Yeah, Alan, I've stolen John's lunch again. Haha. He doesn't even know I'm going to keep stealing it until he launches a full investigation. Then I'm going to plant a hidden camera and catch his reaction as I dump all the stolen sandwiches on his desk at one time. I'm going to call the new show You've Been Cleavered." Stop! What is this? Jet, you came in just in time. Oh! I've stolen John's lunch again. Haha, he doesn't even know. Oh my god. I'm crying. It's good. Oh, I gotta calm down for a second. Oh, we're on the history page of the official website of Birds Aren't Real. Just fun fact. Oh my god. Dills responded, "Oh god. Haha, Ellen, that's going to be so funny. We'll have to play that clip at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. By the way, how's the bird slaughter going? How many birds have we killed so far?" Oh my god. We've killed about 220 million so far. And the best thing is, the robot birds we've released in their plays have done such a good job that no one even suspects a thing. I'm still laughing about the sandwich. Kennedy heard this conversation over the tapped phone and immediately called both into the Oval Office. He demanded to know what they were discussing. I really hope he first brought up the sandwich, like, "Ha! I knew you were stealing my sandwiches." They confessed what was taking place in the American sky late at night, and he was appalled. He told them to stop the operation at once or he would fire them. "You should fire at least the one guy anyway for stealing your sandwiches." They both explained to Kennedy why the birds needed to be exterminated and asked him if they could show Kennedy a prototype of one of their birds before he made any decisions on whether to end Operation Water the Country. Oh my god. They were just gonna destroy an entire species. It's fine. On October 25th, 1963, Kennedy was shown a prototype of the Turkey X500, a robot that specialized in killing larger birds like eagles and falcons. The robot displayed its surveillance skills as well as its ability to find and track escaped criminals. As we learned from Chapter 1, this was one of the things that drove Eisenhower to approve the project. Anyway, more thoughts. Kennedy was impressed with what he was shown, but continued to demand the immediate shutdown of the operation. And less than a month later, he was dead. Now, I'm not saying that these events are correlated, but I am. I'm not saying it, but I am. Literally is what he said. To actual hell. That's not that like reverse. Anyway, JFK was murdered by the CIA because he was against the mass murder of every feathered flying creature in the United States. He was oh my god. He was to be the first and only president to stand against the murder of the birds, from Lyndon Johnson to Donald Trump. Every president we've had since has turned a blind eye to the atrocities that began in 1959. After Kennedy was killed, the CIA started rigging elections. They would only allow candidates that were anti-bird and pro-citizen surveillance to win the presidency. I'm crying. It's fine. Excuse me. By now you must be shaking with fear. Are you shaking? Are you shaking everyone? The thought of your government doing these things is too much for you to handle. Can it really be true? Could the government have killed billions of birds and replaced them with robots? Yes, they did, and don't feel alone. At any point during the reading of this book, this is a book, you are free to email our counseling department, customer support at warrenjames.org. Why warrenjames.org? Do we need to go to warrenjames.org? .org? What's warrenjames.org? Merchandising for the modern world. What? What? That's Sophia. What? Okay, this has to be all Warren James. Huh? Different rabbit hole than what I was expecting. This is different than what I was expecting. Hey, Moist Critical. Fun. Oh, duh. This took a turn, my guys. Contact us. Info at warrenjames.org. Customer support. What was it? Customer support at Warren James. Did I spell it right? Customer support at Warren James. Oh my god. Okay. On the bright side, I think we can. Nope. I'm actually. I feel like I should email them. And we will walk you through the steps to mentally overcome this nightmare. I personally had to deal with this reality on my own decades ago. Now I'm giving you a service that I wish had been available to me at the time of my discovery. If you're currently experiencing episodes of excessive perspiration, and muscle spasms because of what you've read, do not read chapter 3 yet. It is, if the first few chapters shocked you, chapter 3 will bring you to your knees. Buckle up, the nightmares just begin. So warrenjames.org though is a merchandising company. But it's a merchandising company. That's why I'm confused. Simplifies the process of licensing, manufacturing, and launching custom products. That's a group of rabbits in the rabbit hole that you don't want to associate. Dude, these are... But this has nothing to do with Birds Aren't Real, though. This is a merchandising company. Because Sophia, she does her own, like, she has her own clothing line. And they simplify the process of licensing, manufacturing, and launching custom products. I'm so confused. W-A-R-E-N, James. My brain. Time to fight the feathered menace. Birds aren't real. I'm concerned. You know what? Possible jet. Who is Warren James, though, in association to Birds Aren't Real? The winner writes the history books. Interesting. This is where the recording stops. Oh no. Okay. On July 2nd, 1964, there was a secret meeting held in the Jefferson Building, Washington, D.C. The attendees are unknown. as the only evidence is a 6-minute recording that was uncovered in the basement of an isolated storage warehouse by one of our patriots. In this meeting, it was believed that members of the CIA and Operation Water the Country, WTC for short, discussed the need for a heavy amount of bauxite and amorphous clayey rock that is the chief commercial ore of aluminum. This bauxite was essential to the process of robot construction, as aluminum would make up roughly every facet of its frame and internal structure. In the audio recording from the meeting, you can clearly hear one of the attendees say, "We need a quick solution to this problem. The production team needs this material right now. Real birds have been disappearing for almost 2 years now, and if we don't start replacing them in mass quantities, people will notice. We need a solution in 30 days. This is where the recording stops. Okay. Please buckle up for the next part. I don't mean an America's Car Mart. What? I don't mean an America's Car Mart used 1998 Honda Civic seatbelt. What? I mean a fighter jet ejection seat harness. Almost a month after this secret meeting, a North Vietnamese torpedo boat was accused of attacking a U.S. destroyer in the Gulf of Tonkin. It is widely believed that this incident was faked, and I concur. This incident was an excuse for the United States to place a huge number of troops in Vietnam and engage with the North Vietnamese on a much more escalated platform. What? The question is, why would the U.S. want to fake such an incident? What would they have to gain from invading Vietnam? Surely nobody still believes the "to stop communism" lie that was so fervently spread. Well, you are in luck, because for the first time in history, you will finally know the truth. Hooray! You will finally know why the United States of America decided to waltz into a small country on the tip of East Asia. Oh, goody! The nation of Vietnam contains the third largest reserves of bauxite ore on the entire planet. Like I said earlier, this ore was the primary component of aluminum, which would be used to create the robots. The U.S. used the already brewing conflict in Vietnam to their advantage, and from 1964 to 1975, the U.S. attempted to invade and extract as much of this ore as possible, because without it, there would be no robots. I thought they did it for the black gold. Let's see. The process looked like this. U.S. soldiers were told to advance in on the area in North Vietnam where they could fight communism the best. This is what they were told. They were actually capturing areas that had enormous quantities of bauxite ore. Once flanking defenses were set up, dozens of excavators were deployed to dig up the deposit and dump the bauxite back into dump trucks that would then travel a distance of up to 26 hours through enemy territory to Cam Ranh Base, a U.S. military port located in the Hao province of South Vietnam. The bauxite ore was then loaded onto a cargo ship that would deliver the ore to an unidentified port on the east coast of the United States. From there, the ore would be transported to hundreds of facilities that constructed the robot birds. Of course. What do you mean you better hide? These facilities are believed to be located within many of the government fallout shelters and ammunition bunkers. One of the more modern factories is located underneath the Denver International Airport. That's something we should talk about. The craziness of the Denver International Airport. There's a lot to that, though. You see the government escalated the fears of a nuclear war during this time period, 1960s, 1980s, as an excuse to build a massive underground warehouses under the disguise of being bomb shelters. These facilities were so massive that hundreds of workers could fit inside and construct up to 5,000 robot birds per day. There there are believed to be 22 of these underground manufacturing plants and during the peak of the construction process, sometimes around 1,000, sad date, I'm dumb. Upwards to 100,000 robots were being constructed each day across all 22 bunkers. However, each of these fake fallout shelters / robot bird construction facilities would construct a different type of bird specifically for that region. For example, in Colorado, there's a bunker near Colorado Springs that specifically builds hummingbirds. Okay, as they used to be. They used to be the primary backyard bird in the state. Fun fact, hummingbirds are the ideal candidate for surveillance in tight space. They, as they are small yet versatile. I see what you mean now, Jet. My bad. Oh no. Now, you may be wondering, how did the government get thousands of people to build the birds, and where are they now? Why aren't they testifying in court to the atrocities they were forced to commit? Do they not remember building all these robot birds? My friend, the question has been debated for decades by many within the Birds Aren't Real community. To sum it up, they were tripping balls. Yes, they simply were high. Of course. How could we not have considered that before? Oh my god. The government would send individuals to local nightclubs and bars, who would then scope out a candidate who looked like they could assemble a robot bird. How do you expect people to assemble robot birds while high? It would tell that person that they were having a costume party on acid. It was the 60s and 70s where acid was more accepted than bottled water. Okay, these people were given work overalls, their costume, and a small tab of acid, which was actually just a piece of colored paper. Okay, the acid trip they expected was actually the bus ride to the entrance of the bunker. Okay, where they were given a toolbox and a pair of headphones that played Pink Floyd non-stop. Yes, specifically Pink Floyd. This combination of assembling a robot bird inside a 5-story government fallout bunker led them to believe they were on the most insane trip of their life. We're not talking about lettuce, though, Therian. We're talking about something else. Many of these individuals would later be heard saying, "The craziest trip I had was back in '76 when I met this guy who gave me this crazy tab. From then all I remember is riding through the desert for 45 minutes on the top of a sawed-off school bus, then walking down a staircase into a huge warehouse that was underground and having some guy tell me to follow some instructions and make some sort of flying robot bird." There you have it. The reason why so many contributed to the construction and why none of them remember. Yes, it's of course. That makes so much sense. I honestly can't say anything about that because I've never been high before, so I can't really say yes or no or whatever to any of that. I can't argue. That's the word I'm looking for. The movement begins. One of the main questions we have received lately goes as followed. Hello, when did the movement begin? Well, Patriot, this chapter will address that very question. Why is that the important question you want to focus on? Excuse me. It all started in 1973, a time when the Vietnam War was ending and thousands of U.S. troops were returning home. Operation Water the Country was handed over to William Colby, The new head of the CIA under President Gerald Ford, Colby renamed Operation Water the Country to Operation Very Large Bird and enacted an internal rule that anyone who had worked on the original Operation Water the Country was to be released of their duties and removed from their position. It had been over 10 years since the operation had begun, and they had only managed to replace 26% of bird population with robots. This was 35% under target, and Colby wanted to hire men and women who would get the job done faster. Make sure you bring a friend of someone who can tether you to the ground. Yes. This proved to be a huge mistake. Oh no. Oh no. All right. Ye goodness. One of the men Colby fired turned out to be the first whistleblower and risked his life to share the information that you have been reading. Ah, yes. This is where we got all the details about the vibes ruined on that road trip to Area 51. Yes, yes. His brave actions started this entire movement. It was a cold, rainy night in November 1973. The man who shall remain nameless as we do not know his name. Fair. Oh no, our birds, it's broken. Showed up on the doorstep of Clark Griffin, a young teenager from San Francisco. Clark had been an outspoken activist during the tail end of the Vietnam War, and now that the war had ended, all of the bauxite was extracted, and we now know all the bauxite was extracted. We now know. Excuse me. Brain. The master, is that what we're calling him? The master knew that Clark would need another, what? Cause to campaign? What? Oh, okay. Clark would need another call. Okay, whatever. As the soft raindrops pattered on the sidewalk below, the man who shall be referred to as the master, you should have said that before you mentioned the master, knocked at the door of Mr. Griffin's apartment. You see, the master knew that Colby must likely had people hired to follow him, as he knew information that could take this country down, so he couldn't be seen meeting with any members of the newspaper or television. The master knew he had to share... I don't like that he called him the master. Had to share what he knew with someone young, someone bright, who could be the face of the resistance. He knew that if he tried to start the movement himself, he would never be seen again. Yes, the master! The master! A young adult novel? I mean, it kind of feels like it. Let's see. Clark was an outspoken activist against the Vietnam War, and now the war had ended. The master wanted to give him something new to campaign against. The government atrocities of the 60s and 70s surrounding the bird genocide. The master relayed everything he knew to Clark and secretly helped launch the first Birds Arn't Real movement. Doctor Who. Let's see. Griffin was absolutely shocked to learn what the master knew. Why does he call it the master? I hate it. But was not surprised. He was used to fighting the all-powerful United States government and wanted to share his newfound knowledge as fast as he could. He quickly formed a team from the original members of his pro-peace / anti-war campaign and asked them with traveling to various college campuses across the United States and standing on street corners and in amphitheaters in these said campuses, preaching the feathered gospel. Oh no. Preaching the feathered gospel and awakening many students, quickly forming a huge activist base. To be fair, they probably did that they probably went about the right way in spreading that information. I mean, yeah, to get people to, I mean, to be fair, young adults are probably the most influential. At least in this time of their life, they're wanting to, yeah. Ay, ay. Okay. So they went about that correctly in the forms of spreading misinformation. This quickly became known as the Tour of Freedom by Clark and his team, as they would travel from university to university in the span of a few months at a time, teaching and informing everyone who dared listen to them. When they weren't touring, they were researching and calling politicians, trying to find at least one individual who would grant them an interview. This never happened. It only took a few months for the team to realize that their supporters had grown so large that they needed to hold a public rally to show the government just who they were dealing with and what they were up against. They needed to show the government that they weren't about to go down without a fight. A flight fight. Sorry. So Clark and his team organized a rally in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Oh my gosh. This rally was attended by upwards of 2,000 people, mainly supporters from various college campuses who had driven through the night just to protest and show their support. True patriots, a phrase we do not take lightly. Thank you. During the rally, the Secret Service was ordered to confiscate any film being taken of the event to prevent it from being aired on television. This is a shame, as we now do not have any images of the historic event, but only have the words of those who attended. These rallies would be held every year until following 1974 until 1993, when the government officially put an end to the first Birds Aren't Real movement. Okay. Oh my god. This is an adventure we are reading. Okay. Clark and his team continued to campaign and build support, calling politicians to no avail, and traveled to public forums to voice their truth. They reached a tipping point in 1987 when they attempted to release an advertisement on national TV during Super Bowl 21. However, the government stepped in and confiscated the original film, banning the ad under fears of compromised national security. To be fair, that would have caused panic. There's no doubt people would have panicked. Quickly after this event, the offices of the Birds Aren't Real movements were raided by the FBI, and many of the important documents given to Clark by the master were confiscated and placed in a top secret location. The team did not let this affect them and continued to try as hard as they could to spread awareness and bring the heinous crimes to light, holding rallies until 1991, when Clark Griffin disappeared during the 91 rally in San Francisco, last seen holding a sign and marching up Market Street. Interesting. Nobody has seen or heard from him since that day, a day many of us in the movement call Blue Day, May 6th. Sadly, we do not have much information on what happened between the 91 rally and 2017, a massive amount of time that we could have accomplished so much for the movement, but we cannot let that get us down. We must push full steam ahead and regain all the lost ground in an effort to take back America from those that seek to destroy it. Ooh, we're getting close. Oh no, I see Mr. Trump's name. If you've made it this far, thank you. I thank you for your dedication to learn the truth and seek justice for the innocent birds that were taken from us. I have one more subject to discuss, a parting gift, if you will, the current state of the movement. As of this writing, it is August 2019. Donald Trump has used sophisticated tactics to keep our movement suppressed. He knows that he can't regulate the internet as well as he would like to. Google, Facebook, and Instagram are independent platforms being used by the government to track and compile data from the billions of drone birds cruising the skies all across America. Instagram has begun to the process of censoring our message as they remove post after post. The other movements has sprung up all across the world as millions of people fear that their government is also not to be trusted. While there is zero evidence to suggest that countries in Europe have enacted this process of removing birds in replace of robots, the fear is still alive and well for good reason. What's that good reason? Excuse me. Sorry, I'm taking deep breaths. It's been a lot of talking. I'm not the best at talking. A common question we get a lot of is how do the birds not fly out of the United States to Mexico and Canada? Great question. While the majority of the birds are programmed to not cross over into these countries, there are some that still venture into these countries for a few reasons: picking up drugs, cocaine, marijuana, etc., for eventful delivery into the lower class segments of our major cities. Okay. The government will do anything they can to maintain control over its citizens, even getting them hooked on drugs. Another reason is simple keeping tabs on U.S. citizens who go on vacation. Of course, any bird you can excuse me. Any bird you see flying across the U.S. borders to either Mexico or Canada is simply tracking an American citizen who has traveled outside the United States. I'm going to finish reading. Okay. However, there is currently nothing keeping a bird from Canada or Mexico from traveling inside America, which is why there will never be a 100% robot bird population. It will most likely hover around 95%, as birds are always flying into our neighboring countries. From our neighboring countries. Wouldn't that be a problem? Wouldn't that be a problem of having U.S. surveillance drones flying into another country? Isn't that a government problem for Mexico and Canada? Shouldn't they do something about it? Shouldn't they do something about the bird robots? This may change soon, however. In 2016, President Trump announced that if he was elected, he would build a wall between Mexico and the United States. You may believe the mainstream media and Trump's lies when you hear that the wall will be designed to keep illegal immigrants out of the United States. But that is false. The, quote, wall will actually be encapsulated with thousands of microwave guns that can track any bird entering the United States and shoot it with harsh microwaves, which destroy the bird's ability to fly and will leave it deceased in under a few hours. I hope this does not shock you too much. That's just kind of weird concept after all. If you made it this far in the reading, your entire view of this country has been totally reframed. Oh God. I hope you were able to join us in the fight for freedom. Please join us. We need you now more than ever. I'm stunned. Oh God. Who are we? I want to see if this is another like 700. Oh, we got videos. However, they are YouTube videos. I'm kind of worried about it. Let's see. Birds Arn't Real movement has been active since 1976. Once a preventative cause, our initial goal was to stop the genocide of real birds. Unfortunately, this was unsuccessful, and the government has since replaced every living. That contradicts with what you said earlier in the previous page. Every living bird with robotic replicas. Now our movement's prerogative is to make everyone aware of this fact. Guns that shoot Micro, just the waves, not the actual microwave ovens. I feel. Let's see. What is this? A band Ooh, this is the band advertisement. Should we watch it? Let's watch this. Maybe just this one. This is the ex-CIA agent confirming bird drone surveillance. And telephone interview with a movement representative. Okay. Birds aren't real. Ooh. Let's see. We are the brave voice and we are the voice brave enough to cry out. We are the storm poetry. The government should not exist as I'm not going to read that. We call them the bird brigade. Sometimes he doesn't like it when you watch other YouTube contents. I know they don't. But I am curious. We could always, but this is such an old one. Ooh, I could see Birds Aren't Real copywriting us, though. Okay, we won't do that since it's... I am curious about... I'll watch it later. I want to watch it. Okay. Let's see. What else? FAQ? What is it? Okay. What do you mean birds aren't real? Oh, these are great questions. Ooh, these are good questions. First, what is the purpose? To make everyone aware of this fact. We've read that already. What do you mean birds aren't real? The term birds aren't real refers to biological birds no longer existing on United States soil. After the government forcibly made the entire species extinct in the 20th century, all these real birds were replaced with the surveillance drone designed to look just like birds. To simplify, birds no longer exist in the U.S. as a biological life form. Thus, birds aren't real. What are eggs? Yay. The, quote, eggs we see in the 21st century are specifically designed by the government to appear indistinguishable from what eggs once were. When birds were real, when the government replaced the species with robotic replicas, it was key that these replicas sustained the same activities that their biological predecessors did, including producing eligible eggs. I have questions. Oh, here we go. Bird poop was originally thought to be the oil discharge from the earlier... Oh my god. Is thought to be the oil discharge from earlier bird drone models. After further research, though, this was disproven. Bird poop irregularly falls on... It's not irregular, but okay. Falls on vehicles in large amounts. Recently, studies show that 87% of bird poop in populated areas fall on people's cars. Why is this? It couldn't be because we have a lot of cars. Confidential documents leaked in 2018 revealed that bird poop is actually a form of liquidated tracking apparatus. If you walk outside and notice some bird poop just happen to fall on your car, be aware that you're now being tracked by the United States government. It is recommended you clean your car exterior regularly to avoid this. So many eggs. Explain bird meat, like the chickens. Yeah. So are they saying it's just flying birds? Okay. All, quote, meat found in, quote, birds today is 100% synthetic. If birds suddenly became inedible, the government's entire scheme would have been compromised. In order for their transition from real bird to drone replica to make sense, they had to imitate all parts of real birds in their robotic copies. This includes tasty edible meat, just synthetic. Edible meat, just synthetic. Synthetic meat is actually very accessible in modern times, with many fast food operations openly using it in their meals. The government simply had access to these modern technologies decades before the public. Here we go. What about birds that people hunt and or roadkill? How do you explain bird guts? Oh my god. They're ground drones, of course. Of course. This entire question is based off of a flawed understanding of what a, quote, robot is. What? With major technological advances only recently being made in the 20th century, many still think that a, quote, robot can only be a metallic machine with gears and wires. Okay, bird drones are not this. The government has access to futuristic technologies, making it possible to create a, quote, robot using parts undistinguishable from a biological organism. Uh-huh. After all, if the robot replicas didn't look and feel exactly like real birds inside and out, the entire plot would be exposed. Almost as if it didn't happen, as if they are real birds and not. Oh my god. Where did all. What do I do? Okay, no, we'll get there. Where did all the dead birds go? Wouldn't people have seen them? Within the bar movement. Okay, now we're abbreviating. It is common knowledge the government killed 12 billion birds before 2001 by releasing a virus that only affected the bird species. Okay, after the bioweapon was sprayed down from B-52 bombers, the virus spread throughout all birds like wildfire and made them all sick. That contradicts one of the things you said earlier. You said earlier that by the time JFK came into office, or whoever it was that changed the operation to Big Bird, only like, what was it, 30%, 35% of the birds were replaced. So that contradicts with what you said. Okay, the virus was designed to slowly. This also contradicts what y'all said. In the previous pages, it said it went quickly, and it quickly disintegrated birds or decomposed birds in 24 hours. The birds, a form of advanced leprosy. This is why there weren't 12 billion birds littering the ground of the nation as their robot counterparts were released into the public. They were disintegrated into dust, blown away with the wind. For every bird disintegrated by the virus, a robot replica was replaced, was put in its place. They're directly contradicting what they said earlier, which is frustrating. Are all birds robots? What about ones not primed for surveillance? When the government forcibly made the entire bird species extinct, they used a bioweapon, a controlled virus, to wipe out the entire species of bird in the United States. This virus could not be contained by only birds who would be optimal for surveillance uses. It applies to, it applied the entire species. This means that every bird was affected, including chickens and other types of birds not typically in ideal environments for surveillance. The math doesn't math exactly. Number 9, the most important question. I have a pet bird. What do I do? Not to startle you, but you have a highly advanced governmental surveillance drone in your house, watching your every movement, picking up every word of your conversations, and sending that data to the Pentagon. Quote, pet birds were actually unheard of before 2001, when all birds, why are they capitalizing birds? When all birds became surveillance drones. At the time, the government started propaganda campaigning normal normalizing pet birds. If you think about it, a pet bird in a cage doesn't even make sense. The animals are supposed to have endless sky to explore, not to be held in a cage in a house. You would be best advised to not bring up any matters you prefer to remain confidential around your pet bird. Yee. Okay. Do different birds mean different things? Are they all surveillance drones? You have a bird that's shaped like Alexa. While most birds are designed specifically for public surveillance purposes, this does not mean that that's all the government is doing to them. Bird drones can have multiple applications based on type. For example, vultures are not surveillance drones, but they are used for public sanitation, roadkill specifically. Another example is hummingbirds, which are used as assassination drones, spearing targets with their long needle beaks. Ah yes, the assassination hummingbirds. Ah, how could I have been so blind? How could I have been so blind? Is this movement serious? Sadly, yes, the Birds Aren't Real movement has been active since 1976. Once a preventative cause, our initial goal was to stop the genocide of real birds. Unfortunately, this was unsuccessful, and the government has since replaced every living bird with robotic replicas. Now our movement's prerogative is to make everyone aware of this fact. Despacito! Is this only in the US? Did other governments do this too? Unfortunately, the bird drone problem exists in other countries as well, and they are more open about it. In fact, the Chinese government that openly admitted to surveillance drones disguised as birds, you can look that up. Sure. Russia and other countries have openly admitted to testing this as well. The only difference with the US is that the government isn't as open or honest about it. ¿Por qué? Excuse me. I've encountered a bird. Oh my god. I've encountered a bird in my life. What do I do? Should I be concerned? First, breathe. Remain calm. It is vital to not panic. And remember that this experience is not abnormal. These birds have likely been watching you for most of your life. Once you have regained your composure, look the bird straight in the eyes and declare the following statement confidently. Oh my god. Okay. I know your secret. I know that you are a surveillance drone in disguise. I know that behind those beady eyes are cameras soaking up data and sending it to the Pentagon. I am onto you. I know you are not real. Yes. By vocally establishing dominance over the drone in this moment, your fear should subside, allowing you to remember that you are human and that is merely a robot. Okay. How important is the apostrophe in Birds Aren't Real? Can it be spelled Birds Aren't Real? Interesting question. Does that mean the song that the bird is the word is not true? Or maybe it is true, and that the bird word is actually that birds aren't real, and that way it is true, and the bird is the word, and the birds are just repeating your words back to government as data, and so they can spy on us. The term "birds aren't real" is usable, but the apostrophe is important as it signifies more than just grammatical accuracy for our movement. It's legitimization. To us, the the term birds aren't real without the apostrophe may lead people to think that we don't know what we're talking about. The term birds aren't real may immediately cause someone to not take us seriously. The term birds aren't real may lose our movement potential bird truthers. The spelling birds aren't real may delegitimize our movement as well, for without the apostrophe, it may look as if bird truthers are uneducated. For us, birds aren't real without the apostrophe is very inadvisable. Always choose birds aren't real over birds aren't real. We've cracked the code! Okay, everyone. And that was the Birds Aren't Real. Oh, there's merch. Wait, what is this? Can I zoom into this though? I want to please no do the courier. Oh, here we go. We have the pigeon, city surveillance. Vulture, public sanitation. Bluebird, I'm sorry. Walter, why are you there? Bluebird, retina scanner. Seagull, coastal surveillance. Hummingbird, attack drone. Owl, night surveillance. Oh, hello. Goose, recreational surveillance. Then why do they attack us? Hawk, regional alpha, aka the manager. Sparrow, general surveillance. Flamingo, aquatic sentry. Make sure, yeah. Parrot, linguistics analyst. Oh my fucking god. Raven, stealth attack drone. If it flies, it spies. Oh my god. There's more of that. Oh, that's just like all of it. Hello, my name is Woke. Let's see. This right here. Oh. Okay. Get out of here. Get out of here. Is that a Gen Z conspiracy theory? Let's see. I'm kind of scrolling through this first. So I think this is talking about the TikTok person, I think. Oh wait. Maybe I should read this. We're going to read this. We're going to read this. It's an article in the New York Times. Here we go. In Pittsburgh, Memphis, and Los Angeles, massive billboards. Oh no, too many birds. Massive billboards recently popped up declaring birds aren't real. On Instagram and TikTok, Birds Aren't Real accounts have racked up hundreds of thousands of followers, and YouTube videos about it have gone viral. Last month, Birds Aren't Real adherents even protested outside Twitter's headquarters, oh no, in San Francisco to demand that the company change its bird logos. We can't be called Twitter anymore. That's birds, and birds aren't real. Okay. Ay. Shut up, everyone. The events were all connected by a Gen Z fueled conspiracy theory that which posits that birds don't exist and are really drone replicas installed by the US government to spy on Americans. Hundreds of thousands of young people have joined the movement, wearing Birds Aren't Real t-shirts, forming rallies, and spreading the slogan. Let's see. It might smack of QAnon? Okay. It might smack of QAnon, the conspiracy theory that the world is controlled by elite cabal of child trafficking Democrats, except that the creator of Birds Aren't Real and the movement's followers are in on the joke. They are in on the joke. they mean that they know that birds are in fact real and that their theory is made up. Do they though? I think there's people out there that don't. Anyway, what Birds Aren't Real truly is, they say, is a parody social movement with a purpose. In a post-truth world dominated by online conspiracy theories, young people have oh my gosh, why use big words? Me no big words. Around the effort to thumb their nose at, fight and poke fun at misinformation. I hope this is what most of this is about. It's Gen Z's attempt to upend the rabbit hole with absurdism. In a way to combat troubles in the world that you don't really have other ways of combating, said Claire Cronus, 22, a Birds Aren't Real organizer in Pittsburgh. My favorite way to describe the organization is fighting lunacy with lunacy. It's kind of questionable to me. Like, I do believe there's people out there that are like, yes, it's a joke and egging on for a joke. But I also feel like that whole ass website had to be someone out there who actually believes this nonsense. But maybe not. Maybe this is. I don't know. The memes. At the center of the movement is Peter McIndian, a floppy-haired college dropout in Memphis who created Birds Aren't Real on a whim in 2017. For years, he stayed in character as the conspiracy theory's chief believer, commanding acolytes to rage against those who challenge his dogma. But now, Mr. McInode, I'm probably saying that right, McIndoe, said in an interview he was ready to reveal the parody lest people think birds really are drones. I am so glad that this whole ordeal is a parody. That makes me so happy. But sadly, I think some people do think it's real. Dealing in the world of misinformation for the past few years, we've been really conscious of the line we walk, he said. The idea is meant to be so preposterous, but we make sure nothing we're saying is too realistic. That's a consideration with coming out of character. Yes. Most Birds Aren't Real members, many of whom are part of an ongoing activism network called the Bird Brigade, grew up in a world overrun with misinformation. Some have relatives who have fallen victim to conspiracy theories. So for members of Gen Z, the movement has become a way to collectively grapple with those experiences. By cosplaying conspiracy theorists, they have found community and kinship. Yes. Jet. Birds Aren't Real is not a shallow satire of conspiracies from the outside. It is from, gosh, I can't read. It is from the deep inside, he said. A lot of people in our generation feel the lunacy in all this, and Birds Aren't Real has been a way for people to process that. I'm so glad I'm reading this. Cameron Katsy, 21, an activist from Parkland, is that supposed to be Florida? FLA? No, that can't be Florida. What's that supposed to be? Who helped organize the March for Our Lives student protest against gun violence in 2018 and is involved in Birds Aren't Real, said the parody makes you stop for a second and laugh. In a uniquely bleak time to come of age, it doesn't hurt to have something to laugh about together. Ugh, sorry, my throat. Mr. McIndoe, too marinated in conspiracies. For his first 18 years, he grew up in a deeply conservative and religious community with 7 siblings outside of Cincinnati. Then in rural Arkansas, he was homeschooled, taught that evolution was a massive brainwashing plan by the Democrats and Obama was the Antichrist. Facts. Not saying that those are facts. Facts that he's been taught that, I'm sure. It is Florida? Okay, good. Let me see if I can get my butler to get me some water. Will you bring me water? Okay. Alternate dimension of Florida. He read books like Remote Control, and what it said were hidden anti-Christianity messages in Hollywood. In high school, social media offered a gateway to mainstream culture. Mr. McIndoe began watching Philip DeFranco and other popular YouTubers who talked about current events and pop culture, and went on Reddit to find new viewpoints. Let's see. I was raised by the internet because that's where I ended up finding a lot of my actual real world education, through documentaries and YouTube, Mr. McIndoe said. My whole understanding of the world was formed by the internet. By the time Mr. McIndoe left home for the University of Arkansas in 2016, he said he realized he wasn't the only young person forced to straddle multiple realities. Then in January 2017, Mr. McIndoe traveled to Memphis to visit friends. Donald J. Trump had just been sworn in as president, and there was a women's march downtown. Pro-Trump counter-protesters were also there. When Mr. McIndoe saw them, he said he ripped a poster off the wall, flipped over, and wrote 3 random words. Birds aren't real. It was a spontaneous joke, but it was a reflection of the absurdity everyone was feeling. Birds aren't real. I love it with the birds at the top. It's so good. Mr. McIndoe then walked around and improvised that birds aren't real conspiracy lore. He said that part of the greater movement that believed that birds had been replaced with surveillance drones, and that the cover-up began in the 1970s. Unbeknown to him, he was filmed and the video posted on Facebook. It went viral, especially among teenagers in the South. You still have Freebird stuck in your head? Good. In Memphis, Birds Aren't Real graffiti soon showed up. Photos of the phrase being scrawled on chalkboards and the walls of local high school surfaced. People made Birds Aren't Real stickers. Mr. McIndoe decided to lean into Birds Aren't Real. I started embodying the character and building out the world this character belonged to. He said he and Connor Gatos, a friend, wrote a false history of the movement. Where does this take us? The history. Birds aren't real. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Yes. Concocted elaborate theories and produced fake documents and evidence to support his wild claims. Yay! It basically became an experiment in misinformation. We were able to construct an entirely fictional world that was reported on a fact by local media and questioned by members of the public. Mr. Gatos added, if anyone believes birds aren't real, we're the last of their concern, because they were probably no conspiracy they don't believe. Oh God, what is this picture? Burning a Cardinals flag. Oh my God, that's extra, man. During a satirical protest of the baseball team's Pro Bird logo in July. Yay! Yay! In 2018, Mr. McIndoe dropped out of college and moved to Memphis to build Birds Aren't Real further. He created a flyer that shot to the top of Reddit. He hired an actor to portray a former CIA agent. Oh God. Oh no! That other video, that's so great. That's so great. Who confessed to working on bird drone surveillance. The video has more than 20 million views on TikTok. He also hired actors to represent adult bird truthers in videos that spread all over Instagram. Oh no. That same year, Mr. McIndoe began selling Birds Aren't Real merchandise. The money, totaling several $1,000s a month, helps Mr. McIndoe and Mr. Gatos cover their living expenses. All the money from our merch lineup goes into making sure me and Connor can do this full time, Mr. McIndoe said. We also put the money into billboards flying out members of the Bird Brigade to rallies. None of the proceeds go to anything harmful. To adults with concerns about Mr. McIndoe's tactics, researchers said any harms were most likely minimal. You have to weigh the potential negative effects with any of his stuff, but in this case it is so extremely small. So why'd you do that? I saw you. You didn't have to interrupt me. I'm reading. I will punch you. Allowing people to engage in collaborative world building is therapeutic because it lets them disarm conspiracy. I'm concerned that this is not actually a joke and engage in a safe way. Mr. McIndoe said he kept the concerns top of his mind. Everything we've done with Birds Aren't Real is made to make sure it doesn't tip into where it could have a negative end result on the world. He said, it's a safe space for people to come together and process the conspiracy takeover of America. It's a way to laugh at the madness rather than to be overcome by it. The effort has been cathartic for young people, including Hithio Ship, a Pittsburgh resident. He is. Oh my gosh. My freaking brain cells are not working. Let's see. Most conspiracy theories are fueled by hate or distrust of one powerful leader. But this is about finding an outlet for our pain, she said. She added that the movement was more about media literacy. Birds Aren't Real members have also become a political force. Many often join up with counter-protesters and actual conspiracy theorists to de-escalate tensions and delegitimize the people they are marching against with irreverent brain chants. I don't know. I have water now, yay. Okay. In September, shortly after the restrictive new abortion law went into effect in Texas, Birds Aren't Real members showed up at a protest held by anti-abortion activists at the University of Cincinnati. Supporters of the new law had signs with very graphic imagery and that were very aggressive in condemning people, said Mr. McIndoe. Said it led to arguments, but the Bird Brigade began chanting, "Birds aren't real." Their shouts soon overpowered the anti-abortion activists who left. Yay! I'm sorry, I'm neutral. I'm not speaking on the abortion things. We're only talking about birds and their lack of realness. The tingles. I'm sorry. Do you want more drinking ASMR? Mr. McIndoe now has big plans for 2022. Breaking character is necessary to help Birds Aren't Real leap to the next level and forswear actual conspiracy theorist. He added that he hoped to collaborate with major content creators and independent media like Channel 5 News, which is aimed at helping people make sense of America's current state and the internet. I have a lot of excitement for what the future of this could be as an actual force for good, he said. Yes, we have been intentionally spreading misinformation for the past 4 years, but it's with a purpose. It's about holding up a mirror to America in the internet age. Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah, I should have waited to read that. However, it's so interesting. It's so interesting. Do y'all want to watch some of his TikToks? Because I believe this is the same guy, yeah? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the logo. Yeah. Do we want to start from the beginning? Let's do it. Let's watch TikToks.
Okay, answer me this.
Wait, volume? Am I?
Why is it that whenever a human...
Why is this not voluming? Am I crazy? Is my headset on? My headset turned off. The fuck? My headset turned off.
human touches a power line, we get shocked to death. But millions of birds sit on power lines every day perfectly fine. The answer may be more simple than you think. Every bird you see is actually a government surveillance drone in disguise. And what do drones have? Batteries that need to be charged. Wow, what a coincidence that there are wires full of electricity hung up in every American city. Put the pieces together, guys. Birds charge on power lines. They're watching you and I every day. Stay woke. Okay, answer me this.
Stay woke.
Why is it that whenever...
Folks, it is at this time we would like to formally announce our movement's candidacy for President of the United States of America.
Just the movement as president. I love it.
We are honored to be the first movement in history to run for president. Now, let me be clear. We're running as a movement, so if you consider yourself to be a bird truther or part of our movement in general, you are now running for president of the United States. America's tried this whole one person running the country thing now 50 times and just can't seem to get it right. So we thought it was time a movement took the reins. We're currently working with an architect to expand the Oval Office to fit 300,000 people.
Oh my God.
Room for the whole movement. It'll look something like a beautiful Roman Colosseum.
Ah, yes, lovely.
With our movement in charge, the avian lie will finally be dealt with. Thank you, and we'll see you at the voting booths. Folks.
Hey, I'm Peter with Birds Aren't Real. Today we're out here in Mississippi and we're about to meet an activist.
Let's see. All right, who is this?
Hi, my name's Jed Wilkerson.
Jed.
From North Mississippi, 55 years old. And I know the government killed 12 billion birds and replaced them with surveillance drones. I know it like I know grass is green.
Oh, hell yes.
What's something about bird truthers that people don't understand?
That we're everywhere.
Jed.
We're your cashier at the grocery store. We're the mailman walking down the street. We're the teacher in your classroom.
Is that the
There are
vegan
millions
teacher?
of us worldwide. Most of us are just underground. We have to talk in secret, kind of hide away almost. Get away from.
Hey, I'm Peter with Birds Aren't Real.
How dare you?
I consider myself to be an average American. I wake up in the morning, wash my car, and I have an avid disbelief in avian beings.
Maybe you've seen the billboard near the Highland Strip or heard the story on Wednesdays Live at 9. A campaign called Birds Are Not Real brings its efforts to the Mid-South.
And this morning we are joined by one of the messengers of the movement. Peter McIndoe is here to tell us how this all came about. We want to emphasize you were not the founder.
Oh God!
No. We put the billboard here because we wanted to bring it to the biggest city in the world.
No.
You know,
So this is really satire. I mean, you don't really believe that that happened, correct? This is a satirical campaign to make the point that what? you're looking at me like, no, it's not satire. I really do believe this.
Oh, please tell me he's a great actor.
Honestly, it's kind of offensive.
we do not find this to be a humorous issue. This is serious. This is life or death.
This movement came about in 1976, just to avoid any, liberal media hit job.
Since the billboard went up in Memphis, crime has actually dropped by 43%.
100%, of course.
We're expecting the key to the city at any time from the mayor.
There's been a reaction of supporters and loyal bird truthers coming out, saluting, bowing. It's almost become like a sacred pilgrimage.
This billboard means more to me than my own life.
All right, Peter, we appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thank you very much.
BirdsArn'tReal.com. So this is really
She
satire.
seems
I mean,
thrilled to
you
have
don't
done this interview.
Me, like me, she like me. Molly rocks in my green tea.
Think again. Think again. That's gonna get. Ex-CIA agent speaks out.
I've been with the CIA for a few years, And then one morning, I got ordered to report to a military base. And I was briefed on something called Operation Water the Country.
Oh, I wish this was the guy that got left at Waffle House.
Can you explain what that is?
Oh, sure. It's a code name we use for the process of removing all the living birds. They used poison gas dropped from airplanes.
Now, after the living birds were taken out of the picture, what was the next step?
Well, they were replaced with fake birds. They were electronic.
This is so good.
decoys. They could watch people without them knowing it.
What was your role in all of this? Like, how do you know this information?
I was in charge of destroying the evidence. Oh yeah, like I said, I'd been with.
What are pigeons?
Whoa there, partner. Don't let this distract you from the fact that the government killed 12 billion birds from 1959 to 2001 and replaced them with surveillance drones that are watching you right now. Birds aren't real. Wake up.
Wake up. Tips and tricks.
Oh my God. Okay.
Let's see.
They seem to have located my position. The Obama drones have found
Obama
me.
drones.
The Obama drones have found me. Oh my God. Okay, I've got to use one of the code words that will make them disperse. Something that they hate. Oh my God. Freedom! Oh! Oh my God. Okay.
Freedom!
Located my position. The Obama.
Los Angeles.
Last year, we put up a billboard in Memphis, Tennessee, and we awakened many of the blind. This year, though, we were shocked to discover that there are cities bigger than Memphis, Tennessee. So this year, we bring the feathered gospel to Los Angeles.
I had 2 birds when I was a kid. Believe me, birds are real.
What if I were to tell you that everything you've ever known is a lie? People call us a conspiracy theory, but we're not. We're a facts organization.
Oh, you're not crazy. They're absolutely 100% drones. They're flying around at night. If you pay attention to their chest, you'll see a real dull light.
Yes. The elites are quivering right now! Yeah, the mayor heard we were coming, locked the whole city down. We're on their home turf! Good God, the government just sent their jets to spread pro-bird propaganda right over our billboard. They must be terrified.
I love it. I love this so much.
Hey Patriots, a little story time on our fellow bird truther Eugene Price. So his interview is actually from 2019, and just a few weeks after the release of it, he died in his sleep. So shortly after Mr. Price's passing, we reached out to his family to offer our condolences, and they said he had 0 health issues whatsoever, and he was very healthy for his age. Soon after that video was released last year, the government actually reached out to us telling us to delete it. We obviously said no because we need to get the word out somehow. So what did the government do? They went ahead and wiped the entire internet of anything to do with Eugene Price or Operation Water the Country. Eugene has obviously been instrumental in our movement, and his memory will live on.
PSA. Will you come do my dishes, please?
If you're not okay with surveillance cameras watching you, why would you be okay with surveillance bird drones watching you every day of your life? Wake up, America.
Hello, Pokey. Welcome to this loveliness. Part
How about this,
Wait,
Brendan?
I can't
How
read.
about, what did they
Barstool.
tell us when we were kids in school? That if you, like, touched a bird feather, that you were gonna, like, catch a disease and die. Remember
The
that?
bird flu? It's just a regular flu.
And they also told you that if you touched a bird nest or a bird egg, that like the babies would die and the mother would abandon it. They had an entire movement in the education system.
Propaganda.
To keep the children away from birds. They needed to keep these birds so isolated that people wouldn't find out they were drones. They told them they were disgusting. They made them look ugly. They do the head thing and they have the weird oily skin. So the question is, what does Joe Biden do? I feel like the first thing that you do when you get sworn in, like, yeah, we'll get to Area 51 in a minute. But first off, do you swear and promise to uphold the Birds Aren't Real movement? How about this, Brendan? How
This is
about
dark. This is so good.
Into the weekend, temperatures near 6. What in the? I was wondering. What should I do? Oh,
he's got you.
Come back.
Kiss him.
No.
This is good stuff. I was wondering why Kirsten, our producer's like, just stay on the screen after. Now it makes sense.
Now you know.
Trying to mess with you.
There, and he's gone. We're getting into the weekend. Temperatures
That
near
was good.
60.
I enjoyed that. Imagine not thinking this is a robot. Ah! I do find this weird that birds can do this. It's really creepy. Boop, 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 boop. It's so weird. What's so weird? Oh, is he going to the egg aisle? Recording in process. Why birds matter?
Can I have all of them?
Yes.
Really?
Boing, boing, boing. Yay! That was really well edited. Bird drone glitching.
He ain't even moving, bro. He's just... What the fuck? Glitch.
He's not moving, he's glitching. He's glitching out.
Listen, whether you believe what I'm about to say right now is really completely up to you, but I know this to be 100% factual, and I have the proof to back it up. You will not hear about this in the mainstream media, but in the 40 years between 1959 and 2001, the United States government murdered every bird in existence using poisonous toxins dropped from airplanes. Now, while they did this, they replaced all the dead birds with surveillance drones in disguise that look indistinguishable from a real bird. Now, we see these birds every day, and they see us feeding our information back to the government. Now, here's the thing. In the late 1970s, a group of people found out that the government was doing this and started a movement to spread awareness called Birds Aren't Real. The government easily censored this movement, though. This was before the internet, so it was super easy to do that. In the past few years, the Birds Aren't Real movement has returned. We are the new generation of it. Our goal is to spread awareness about what's happened. People deserve to know. With the internet, it's a lot harder for the government to censor us this time. So share this video, spread the truth, let's get it out there.
Spread the
Listen,
truth.
whether you believe what
Proof. Is that your car keys? Good burb. Good job. Good job. Yes, proof. Proof that birds aren't real. The fuck? That's a great animation. What the heck?
Hey guys, apparently this is a Netflix documentary that proves that bird drone surveillance is happening.
Of course,
so
documentaries.
Just wanted to watch it for the first time on camera. First reaction.
One country that's collecting detailed
Staring at each
profiles
other.
on all of its
Pokey.
citizens by applying recent advances in artificial intelligence and data mining to their surveillance
That's not the
capabilities
exact same
is
guy's
China.
voice at all.
Along with their robust arsenal of surveillance devices, they've also developed drones that look like real birds.
That doesn't look like a bird though.
The robotic flock is so lifelike that actual birds fly alongside them while it
yes,
surveils
so
the surrounding
lifelike.
and its citizens. Codenamed Dove by China, the birds are equipped with a camera, GPS antenna, and data link to communicate their findings back to intelligence.
Hey guys, apparently this is a Netflix documentary.
Pokey, you
that
have a
proves
parakeet.
that
I
birds
need you to know. Wait, is this the right one? Yes, this is the right one. If you have a pet bird, this is what you do. Not to startle you, but you have highly advanced governmental surveillance drone in your house, watching your every movement and picking up every word of your conversations and sending that data into the Pentagon. Pet birds were actually unheard of before 2001, when all birds became surveillance drones. At this time, the government started a propaganda campaign normalizing pet birds. If you think about it, a pet bird in a cage doesn't even make sense. The animals are supposed to have endless sky to explore, not to be held in a cage in a house. You would be best to not bring up any matters you prefer to remain confidential around your bird. All right, Pokey? All right? Don't let him brainwash you, Pokey. Don't let it brainwash you. What you need to do You've encountered a bird in your life. This is what you do. Right? Should you be here. What you do is once you've regained your composure, look the bird straight in the eyes and declare the following statement. Okay, Pokey, I got your back. All right. I know your secret. I know that you are a surveillance drone in disguise. I know that behind those beady eyes are cameras, soaking up data and sending it to the Pentagon. I am onto you. I know you are not real. By vocalizing this dominance over the drone in the moment, your fears should subside, allowing you to remember that you are the human and this is merely a robot. All right, Pokey? All right, Pokey? Yeah, that's what you've got to do.
Drone surveillance.
That's what you got to do. Baby pigeons. Why is this video muted? Am I crazy? Oh, fuck. What is my freaking headset doing? Is Pokey a drone? Alright, we'll skip to the next one. This is war.
Newsweek. You've messed with the wrong movement. This week, corrupt journalist James Crowley wrote an article attempting to defame our organization. Let us be clear. You will be on the wrong side of history.
I love the guys in the freaking mask.
It is clear that Big Bird is filling your pockets. Even after our official statement correcting your lies, you released another article, further pushing your hideous agenda. We will not stand for the swamp media trying to destroy our cause. You have no idea what is coming. We have uncovered hundreds of emails that will alter American history. Will you publish those, James? Only time will tell. Next week, the files will be released. Poultrygate is imminent.
Poultrygate. Ah! More evidence. Oh no.
We tell you, hey, birds aren't real. You don't believe us. We scream in the streets for years, birds aren't real. You still don't believe us. Now you have indisputable video evidence that birds are not real, and you still choose to not believe us. Doomsday is approaching.
What does birds not being real have to do with doomsday?
So if you're intelligent at all, you know that all birds are government surveillance drones. But if you're really tapped in, you know that they do way more than just surveillance. Vultures, Public Sanitation Department, keeping roadkill off the highways. Bluebird, retina scanners.
Of course.
The blue attracts your eyes so they can scan them. Parrots, linguistics analysts.
Of course.
Processing recordings of your voice.
Of course.
And hummingbirds, attack drones. Hummingbirds assassinate thousands of targets per year with their beaks. So if you're intelligent at all, you know that all birds are government surveillance drones.
All right. Birdies in golf. Don't hit the bird. Don't you dare hit that bird.
Never saw the bird, apparently. No, he's head down with.
Listen, I'm so sick of this happening. Why in the world is one stroke under par considered a birdie in golf? And
Corruptions and lies.
Does that hole unlock into deeper government secrets down below the ground? We've been lied to for far too long now. Joe Biden, Bill Gates, Blake Shelton, we need answers now.
Blake Shelton? What does he have?
Watching this, I would love your autograph.
Bird glitch.
If you still
more
think
bird
birds are real
glitches.
after watching this video, I don't know what is wrong with you, but here you go.
There's just no way.
That's cool.
If you still think birds are real after watching
That was
this
actually
video,
really
I
cool.
don't know what is wrong with you, but here you go. By far the craziest thing you'll see all year. So we all know Lil Nas' new song Montero, right? But I bet you haven't listened to it backwards yet. Just give this a listen.
The birds are watching. The birds are watching you.
Can't say I'm even surprised anymore.
Wake up, sheeple.
By far the craziest.
Pokey. Let's see. What was the chicken one? Bird meat. Also, how do you explain bird guts? Here we go. This has to do with the dissecting birds, Pokey. All right. What about birds that people hunt /and/or roadkill? How do you explain bird guts? The entire question is based off a flawed understanding of what a robot is. With major technological advances only recently being made in the 20th century, many still think that a, quote, robot can only be metallic machine with gears and wires. Bird drones are not this. The government has access to futuristic technologies, making it possible to create a, quote, robot using parts indistinguishable from a biological organism. After all, if a robot replica doesn't look and feel exactly like real birds inside and out, the entire plot would be exposed. My cat is very hungry. So now you know.
Thing you'll see all year. So we all know Lil Nas' new song.
Okay, we already watched that. Migration.
If you're not ready for the truth, just scroll
Migration.
past this.
Tell
If
us.
birds are so real, then explain to me migration. What other species in the entire world will leave
Butterflies.
their home and then return to an inconsistent habitat year after year? It's time to use our brains. So we all know that the government controls the birds, but what else do they control? The cartel. Why don't the birds just stay in South America all year? The birds are clearly running errands for the American government to sneak drugs across the border. It keeps the dirty work off the ground. In today's world, you cannot say this is the craziest thing you've ever heard. This is easily something the government could do. If you're not...
All right. Do you mean that's enough internet for today? Possibly. Now, my question to y'all, I want to discuss y'all's thought on this conspiracy theory. I am curious what y'all think. Are birds real or are they not? Is the government trying to spy on us via bird surveillance, bird drones? Oh, I need to burp. Rat shit. I didn't see that commenter. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna let y'all know what my thoughts are. The fact that the government is killing these birds, replacing them with robots that are so identical to real birds that that's ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous. If they wanted to surveillance us, they would tap into everyone's smartphones, right? I think that's ridiculous. However, I am starting to believe birds aren't real. But for a different reason, but not in the same way that this theory is of birds not being real. What it is birds are not drones. No. They do exist, but they're not birds. These are all variations of harpy dragons. Of course, y'all are all gonna be like, of course, that makes so much sense. Brain. They're all harpy dragons. Birds and chickens are not descendants of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs had scales, right? They didn't have feathers. Therefore, birds are actually harpy dragons, and we just think they evolved from dinosaurs, where in actuality they have feathers similar to harpy dragons. Therefore, your eye contact is telling me this isn't satire. They're all harpy dragons, and they are trying to take over the world. That's it. And that's what birds are. You have the different varieties, including probably their overlord goddess, Trickywe. Nephesis. I believe she is controlling all the worlds in the US and trying to take over our lives. One stream at a time. And that is my conspiracy theory for today. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate y'all so much. I had a really good time. Not gonna lie. Some of the so I wasn't getting bored. I'm not gonna say that. Under the history, these stories were so fun to read. They were so fun. The the story of John F. Kennedy's ham sandwiches getting stolen was so freaking good. Oh my about government killing people to found footage of giants. What? Oh, Moist Critical. I did not read that as Charlie. So this is easily the best stream of the year. We have more to come, Therian, right? I don't know, but we're going to have more fun streams this year, yeah? I had a blast. And excuse me. So the sandwich was such a good part of this whole story. I'm glad that we got that New York Times article in to read about how, hey, yeah, we are coming out that this is just satire, and it's also a political statement saying how there's so much misinformation being turned around. There's so much. Hold on one moment. This is a lovely 4-year take and political statement on the spread of misinformation on the internet. And sadly, not all conspiracy theories are as good as this, in my opinion. And for those, and like they mentioned in this New York Times article, if there are people out there who actually think birds aren't real, I don't think they're smart enough to really do anything about it. Oh, she is the Popo, run! This is such this was so fun. I'm glad that there's a nice wrap up to it with this being satire. It makes it, for me, it's easier to swallow. And if y'all have any other suggestions on other theories that we can read about, I am open to those suggestions. Yeah. I found it fun just honestly, we didn't research too much into this. I literally just went to the official website and read their point of view. That was my idea. And then we read an article that was basically still from their point of view, but them talking about, hey, this is satire. This is a political statement for your long political statement and characterization and everything. But still, it was so fun. It was fun. It had a nice bow. I should have done the TikToks and then read the New York Times articles, but oh well. They're seeing elves. You have cousins from Mexico saying that seeing elves are common. What do you mean, Pokey? I need this. I need more information. There's so many conspiracy theories we can get into. And maybe I'll have time to actually do some research beforehand instead of doing it live on stream. But maybe it's fun doing it live on stream. I would love your feedback. All right, y'all ready to wrap up? Oh gosh, that's loud. Are y'all ready to wrap up this stream? I had a good time again. We're gonna be live. We're going to be live on Twitch tomorrow, more than likely. Playing Pokemon, and yeah, it was wild. It was wild, and I don't know if Tricky listened to all this. She probably had other things to do. I mean, this has been what, 2-hour stream. I'm going to clip my theory and send it to her and let her know that I am on her side. I am an ally, and don't hurt me. Alrighty, I'll see y'all tomorrow on Twitch, hopefully. Alright, bye everyone!
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I